bloodstream. Should probably turn the bass down. Neighbors have a little baby. Hold on. Can't figure this shit out right now. Hold on. Oh, that's the treble. Oh. There we go. His state responded to the ransom note. Still trying to figure this light out here. You reap what you sow. I should still turn it down. There we go. I just like listening to my music really loud. Like blasting all the thoughts away. Just blasting them right out of my head. This light thing is so cool, but it's always crooked. I kind of want the fridge in there. I don't know why, but it just feels more homey. And then those lights just a little bit. Let's see if I can soften this light a little bit by putting a piece of paper over it. Oh, that goes really bright. Still see a few flaws. Just got back from Hot Springs. Went to my papa's house and had some Thanksgiving dinner, lunch slash dinner. That paper thing is a pretty good idea. Is it too dark? Yeah, I know, this isn't like exactly entertaining. I just... Who cares? I've been thinking about what story to tell you guys today. It's like, first of all, I'm still dealing with some court stuff from oh fuck. See, here I am fucking up all my videos. There. So, let's just say I got into some trouble last June. A lot of trouble. And although I'm free from it now, I still have like a couple more court dates. So we're not going to talk about anything incriminating. I'm going to leave that out of there. So that's a lot of stories that I have to set aside. So, that being said, I don't know. I'm just like not really in a storytelling mood. I'm not like giddy and happy and very silly right now. I'm just kind of whatever right now. I guess I'll tell you this story. So, I feel ugly still. Should I turn the fan on? Nah. You're doing too much. So, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I got out of the mental hospital. It was court ordered. I was stuck there for 3 months. Had I not gotten the disability rights people involved, because I'm technically disabled, I would have been still there and probably there for many more months to come, because I could be wrong, but someone told me that they fucking make so much money off of each patient. Someone told me they make $500 a day per patient. And that might seem a little crazy, but I believe it. I'll have to look into it more. But when I got out, I went to my friend Shane's show. He's in a band called Uncommon Knowledge, which is a very clever name, at the Cave. And I live like 5 blocks away, so I just walked there. It was enjoyable, whatever. We got out of there, and he's like, all right, let's take some shots in my van. I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Then he pulled out this bottle of really cheap vodka, and I'm just like, no chaser, and I was just like, I can't do it. So anyway, we were downtown talking to the natives and stuff. And then I was like in party mode. I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna go. Oh shit, that scared me. My paper fell off. I was like, all right, I'm gonna walk to Holiday gas station and get a bunch of energy drinks and some beer and just like party alone or invite people over to my house. Cause like technically I'm still pretty new to my house. I moved in June or July, and then immediately had to go to the hospital for 3 months, so it's still pretty fresh. It's still my new home. So I was walking home, like, yeah, listening to my music or whatever, and like, I can't remember if it's Main Street or St. Joe, the one that goes west. It goes towards the valley. Anyway, so I was walking, and there's like those little, I was walking, and to my left, inside one of those door coves, I see 2 homeless people. One of them's in a wheelchair, and the other one's just sprawled out, passed out on the ground. And so I stop, and I like wake up the guy in the wheelchair. I'm like, hey, do you need anything? Are you doing okay? And he looked at me like, and I'm like, what? He's like, I'm scared of you. I'm like, why? He's like, because you're nice. And there's only been one other time I felt this total darkness and heaviness in my soul and in the air around me. One time. This was last April. I felt it. It was like fog. I felt it all over in my whole soul, all over in the air. And I told my brother, I'm like, Bud, someone's gonna die tonight, and I think it's me. And he was just listening, and I'm like, seriously, I'm not kidding. Someone's gonna fucking die tonight, and I'm scared for my life right now. Not even a half an hour later, my friend Amanda sends me a text. She drives Lyft. And she's like, oh my God, I'm pretty sure I just saw a body in the street with no head. And I was just like, I was like, holy fuck. Like, I called it. I knew someone was gonna die. Anyway, so when I spoke to him, he looked at me Not even like I was from another world, but I wish I could explain to you the way he looked at me, and I was fucking terrified. I was terrified of the way he looked at me. And I was like, I kind of was like, okay, I don't have any money, but, I hope you guys have a good night. And instead of walking to the gas station in party mode, it quickly shift to like survival mode. And I was just like, go home, go straight home, walk straight home as fast as you can, and don't talk to anybody. So I went home, I locked all the doors and all the windows, and I covered my windows with blankets, and I took a bath. And I heard a gunshot that night. Coincidence? Maybe. Maybe not. I only feel that shit when I'm like when I haven't slept for a long time. I experience a lot of a broad spectrum of feelings that like no one ever experiences, which is cool. But I also get myself into some trouble sometimes and get myself into some really sketchy and scary situations, which I'll talk about at some point. More about some of the situations I got myself into. So, okay, here's another story. I was in Minneapolis a few weeks ago. I fled home. For some reason, when I get like manic / psychotic, I'm like, run away to a big city. It's the only answer. Plus, I thought the Neon Indian show was that weekend. Well, when I got there, I'm like, oh, this is what I came here for, and I'm here on the wrong weekend. But blah, 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 a lot of stuff happened. I ended up losing my new vehicle that I just bought the day before. I don't know where I parked it. That's a whole nother story. But this lady ends up picking me up on the street. She's like Native and Black or something. And I was like, are you Native? What tribe are you in? Blah, blah, blah. Talking about that. And she was just like, she's fucking mean. She's like, you're so cocky and blah, blah, blah. And like no, I'm like, what the fuck? So she had me feeling like a dog with my tail tucked in between my legs. But I had to like obey and go along with her behavior because otherwise I'd be kicked out of the car in the hood. So she was gonna drop me off at this homeless, hold that thought. This rolly chair is great. I could just go anywhere in the house. So she's gonna drop me off at this like homeless like place you get in line, you get the food, and then you like get your own like cot thing to sleep on, and I'm just like, okay, whatever at this point. It's better than wandering the streets again. And then she kept changing her mind, and she's like, all right, you're gonna stay with me. And I'm like, okay. She's like, so we get up to her apartment complex, and she's like, you need to leave your bag in the car. And I'm like, well, what if it gets stolen? And she's like, I don't want you to bring any bags into my house. You can bring your purse, and that's it. I'm like, whatever you say. So I left the bag in the car, and I get inside, and she makes some like chili dogs or whatever. And then she's like, all right, now you need to do the dishes and clean up the kitchen. I'm like, okay, I will. So I did. And then she's like, all right, let's wash your clothes and my clothes. So here's the pile on the ground. Here's some quarters. Go to the laundry room and wash our clothes. And so I'm like, where's the laundry room? And then she had to walk me there. And then, I don't know. So I did her laundry. And then she's like, okay, you need to take a bath now. So I'm like, okay. She's like, I already sprinkled the Ajax in there. All you got to do is scrub it up and take a bath. And she gave me some stuff to bathe with. And it felt like my first bath that I've ever had in my life. It was kind of weird. But then I get out, and she's like, here, you can wear my nightgown. And it's like this old lady nightgown with like a safety pin right here keeping it together. It fit me perfect, but she's like, okay, you're pacing way too much. You need to sit down on the couch. Sit. And I'm like, okay. Okay. So I like sit on the couch, tail in between my legs. Okay. And then I was just on my phone. She's talking to her friend. She was in her bedroom talking to one of her friends on the phone. She's like, Amy, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. And she's like, come lay with me. And so I go in the bed, and she like picks something on Netflix, and she's talking to her homie, and I'm just like laying there, and I turn over and I fall asleep. And the whole time in my sleep, I'm just like crying and moaning in agony and just bawling, and like it was weird. And I woke up, and there was a finger in my puss. And I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, why are you doing that? And I was just like, okay, I'm awake now. And then she like grabs her phone and pulls up some like lesbian porn. She's like, yeah, that girl's got a big ass clit. And I'm just like, fuck, what is going on? So she pulls out her vibrator, and it's like this, like, you know those back massagers? It's got like the 4 balls on it. You like rub people's back with. Well, it was like that, but bigger. It was like huge. I've never. So she like gets herself off, and then she hands it to me, like over her clothes, not like bare skin. And she hands it to me, and she's like, your turn. I'm like, okay. So she holds her phone up, and I'm watching this lesbian porn, and I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? Like, how do I do this? And she's like, you just hold it wherever it feels good and get yourself off. And I'm like, okay. So I did, and it was just like, it wasn't fun. And you know, in retrospect, it's really fucking weird. But at the time, it was just like, according to my life and the way it's been playing out, this is completely sane in comparison to some of the other shit that has been happening. And so, you know, what do you do? Like, she made me give her like $50 to stay at her house. And then the next day, we went to get money because I didn't have any. So I got like $240. That's all that was left in my account. And so she's like, don't fucking give this money to anyone. Don't spend it on anything stupid. You keep this money. And then she's like, well, I got shit to do, so I'm going to have my brother take you where you need to go. And where I was going to go is this pharmacy I happened to wander into because I needed to get my meds. I hadn't been on them in like 3 days. And we pull up to this place, and I'm like, oh yeah, these are the crack stacks. That's what my brother calls them. Because there's like a bunch of junkies and shit that live in there. And she's like, oh, so you're too good? You're too good for this? And I'm like, no, please. And so she drops me off with her brother, who looks like a total gangster. And I'm like, I was scared as fuck. I had my phone, I was taking pictures of his license plate, and I was like, oh my God, texting everyone, like, if I die, like, this guy killed me. But he was really nice. I also gave him $50. And then Nikki, that's her name, she calls me and she's like, you need to you can't be wandering the streets for anymore. You need to get on a Greyhound and go the fuck back home. And I'm like, okay. So I call my mom. She holds on to my extra money because in situations where I'm manic, I tend to spend. So she's got some money set aside for situations like this. So she buys me a Greyhound ticket. Anyway, she buys me a Greyhound ticket, and the Greyhound doesn't leave until like 6:30 in the morning. And so I'm chilling there, and I'm waiting around, you know, it's only like 4 or 5 p.m. the prior day. And so I've got like, I gave away 100, so I've got like 140 in my pocket. And I see this homeless guy and he's laying down. Now this isn't me bragging about giving my money away. This was a really stupid thing, especially when I didn't have any money to give. But I had 140 bucks I should have saved for like rent, electric, 2 car insurance bills, cell phone bill, my car payment, gas, food, toiletries. But here I am. So I see this homeless guy and he's laying there, and something inside of me is just like, give him money. So I've got like $8 and I slip it in there so no one takes it. I slip it into his hand. He's like passed out drunk or something. And everyone sees me and everyone swarms, and they're all black. All of them are black. And they're like, yo, I need $20 to stay at my homie's house tonight. And so I give this guy 10. And he's like, come on, just 10 more. And I'm like, here you go. And then I have other people, and they're so, I just need $10 to go get some groceries. I just need $10. And I'm like, you promise you're not buying drugs with this? Drugs or alcohol? Promise. And she's like, seriously, I'm going to the store to get some food right now. I just need some food to eat tonight. And I'm like, okay, $10. Next thing I know, I don't have any fucking money. I have $5 left. And this guy comes up and he's like, she's a goddamn angel. You guys take care of her. Like, I'm gonna take care of her. And so, yeah, it's like, everyone leave her alone. Keep her safe. She's a fucking angel. And I'm like, okay. So I'm hanging out with this homeless guy all night, and he's got a bottle of vodka, and we have to go to the store, the Target, to get even more vodka. And I like take a few sips, but I don't drink anymore. Like, I take a few sips and I'm like, why do I even do this? Because I don't enjoy getting drunk. I'm like hearing things, but just house noises. But anyway, so we're just chilling. And anytime anyone would come up to me and be like, hey, you got some money? Or, hey, you got a cigarette? He'd be like, no, she doesn't. Okay? She doesn't. And so I'm like, no. I've got like $5 to my name. And that last $5, I bought 2 energy drinks. One for me and one for him. And anyway, I was like, we need to go somewhere so I can cash a check. Like, I need money. And he's like, okay. We'll go to, and I was like, let's go to a casino. They'll cash a check. And so we take the light rail to like the Mall of America. And he's like, yeah, the casino bus should be coming soon. And we're waiting. And I'm like, I don't want to just sit here and wait. Like, let's just go back. And so we're like kind of going back and forth on the light rail. And he's falling asleep. And then like I'm kind of almost dozing. And then he'd fall asleep. And then I like passed out. I woke up. And his hands were down my pants and he was fingering me. One day after, that lady did the same thing to me. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is with people fingering me? And I push him away. I'm like, no. And then the next stop, I'm like, out of there. And then, so I happen to like link up with this other homeless guy. And I'm like, I need somewhere to charge my phone because it's gonna die. So I was like, let's just go to a bar or something. So we went to this bar and showed them our IDs, and they seemed cool enough. And then we sit down and next to an outlet, and I plug my phone in for a second. And the guys come up and they're like, hey, what can I get you? And I'm like, oh, just a water for now. And he's like, well, you need to buy something. I'm like, well, I've already had too much to drink, which is a lie. And I'm just trying to sober up. And he's like, well, if you've had too much to drink, then you need to leave. And I'm like, what is your cheapest thing on the menu then? And I was like, I have $1. Like, what's your cheapest thing on the menu? He's like, nothing for $1. And then I'm like, okay, well, do you want a tip? I mean, what do you want? Like, you want my purse? Like, what do you want? I'm minding my own business. I'm charging my phone. Like, I'm not being disruptive. And he's like, and you're running for president. You're a fucking joke. And I'm like, wow. And I just kind of go off on him and I'm like, this establishment fucking sucks and I'm never coming back. Like, fuck you. And how did you even hear about that? Like, it was just like, disclaimer, I am not running for president right now. And I may not, ever. But if I wanted to, I can. At a later time, when I'm more mature and get my like slut phase out of the way and get my like vengefulness out of me and like learn more about the world and the economy and people, learn about people. So he's an asshole, and so I'm like, fine. I don't ever want to come back to this bar. I don't remember what it's called, but then I meet up with this other guy, and this other guy, and they're all black. Like, I don't know, they just lurk the streets at night. I don't know why the color even matters. I guess I'm just describing to you so you get images. Like, I'm not racist or anything. And I was like, where can I charge my fucking phone? And I want a cigarette. And he's like, all right. So I give him my $1 and he's like, I'll get us a cigarette. And then we go to the hospital and I pass out. And I'm like, pass out on my purse with my phone plugged in. And I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck? Where'd he go? Did he leave? And this Vikings jersey that I bought from like one of the dudes was missing. And so I went up to the people at the front counter. I'm like, you need to check your cameras. I'm pretty sure this guy stole my Vikings jersey. And I'm like, I'm fucking out of here. And then I meet up with this guy, and he's from Compton, and he's really cool, but he had like a light bulb and a meth pipe. And so we like go up this random flight of stairs so he can do it. And I go up the stairs. I don't even want to smell it. I'm like, do your thing, do your thing. But anyway, at this point, I'm just rambling. I met some interesting characters, and I learned a lot about life. And I still have so much more to learn. But anyway, I will stop rambling and continue to listen to my British grime. Oh, wow. We got through that many songs. Damn, I must have been talking for a while.
Yeah. Cool.
On the M1, cruising slow. Anyway, y'all, I'll leave you to it. Happy Thanksgiving!